doing a movie review, and the movie I want to review is the 1993 animated film Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and I'm doing this review with a friend of mine, this guy who's trying to be theatrical all of a sudden, and you may have seen him before. Last year when I did the Batman reviews, I reviewed Batman and Robin with him, and I also reviewed the Evil Dead movies with him. So,
Batman and Robin.
Yes, Batman and Robin.
Ice puns.
We're not going to talk about that now. I know that was a traumatizing experience for you. But Batman Mask of the Phantasm came out in 1993, and it's a spin-off of the animated series, Batman the Animated Series. Now, I grew up with Batman the Animated Series. Like, it was one of my favorite things when I was a little kid. Now, the animated series, I think, was made to kind of capitalize on the success of the Tim Burton movies. But, in my opinion, as an adaptation, I actually think the animated series did more for the character of Batman than any of the live-action adaptations did.
Oh, without question.
Yeah, it's just...
the character Harley Quinn was created for the show, and she's become like an iconic character in the Batman universe now.
Yeah, she got incorporated into the comics and graphic novels.
The show also won many Emmy Awards. I mean, this show was a big deal.
Yeah,
growing up.
And what I liked so much about the show is, even though it was a kids show, and it was definitely a kids show, some of the dialogue was definitely wouldn't have worked in something that was more for adults. But even though it was a kids show, some of the episodes touched on some really adult subject matter.
Yes.
And, like, going back now and watching some of the old episodes as a young adult, I kind of appreciate them even more now than I did when I was a kid.
Same. I mean, I thought in a lot of shows during the 90s, I mean, Batman was just a testament to it. I thought it had the perfect blend between adults and, you know, kid-friendly. I thought it had a good mix. Yeah. Between not just Batman, but like Superman, Batman Beyond, and Justice League. A lot of the similarities is that it was a perfect blend of adult problems and kid-friendly, you know, ha-ha-ha stuff, you know.
And with the success of Batman the Animated Series, Bruce Timm and all those other guys, they made other DC series which were actually set in the same universe, like Superman the Animated Series, which was set in the same universe as Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, pretty much the whole universe is... The whole series, all the television shows were basically one big universe. Basically like, what DC's doing now with live action.
Yeah, like basically... you know, Batman Beyond you had after Superman the Animated Series, and then you had Justice League Unlimited, which was also set in that same universe, and then even the show Static Shock was set in that same universe.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love
that
Static
show back.
But,
very underrated show, Static Shock.
But now that we're done fangasming over Batman the Animated Series, let's talk about the movie that was made based on the series. Batman
Mask of the Phantasm.
This is my review. Okay. Now, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, in terms of the continuity, I'm not sure when this movie's supposed to take place. I'm not sure if it's supposed to take place, like, after the events of the first season, or...
It's hard to say, but I would say in between the second or third season because of the use of CGI, because as the series went on, they kind of... The producers basically started doing CGI here and there, and in this movie there is a lot of CGI moments here and there. Not as much as Sub-Zero, but still. So I would say in between that time frame, pick a spot there.
Alright. Now, the plot of Batman Mask of the Phantasm is these different, like, people associated with the mob start getting killed off, and the police and the media think it's Batman, and of course Commissioner Gordon's pretty much the only one who's convinced of Batman's innocence. Yeah, but it turns out the person actually committing these murders is a character called the Phantasm.
Yes.
And, and what I like so much about this movie is it really gets into Bruce Wayne's character. Like, it's, because you get flashbacks to before Bruce Wayne really decided to become Batman, and it talks about how he met this girl named Andrea, who,
is a love interest.
Yeah, but she almost, basically because of her, like, he almost didn't become Batman,
Yes.
and then something happens where she had to leave him, and that's what basically, at least in this universe, caused him to become Batman. And
watch the movie to find out.
yeah, but it's a really in-depth movie for a kids' movie.
Yeah.
Some of the character development in this movie is even better than character development you see in some live-action
Oh
movies.
yes, yeah, without question.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy Bruce proposes to her, and then gets rejected.
Yeah. But it's understandable because of something that happens to her in the movie.
Right, of course. But I'm just saying though, like,
Yeah. And,
it's heavy stuff.
yeah,
And
it is.
It's basically a story about Bruce Wayne just basically trying to decide, should I be Batman? Should I live up to the promise I gave to my parents, or, be married and be happy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And when you think about it, this Batman movie was even more about Batman than the Tim Burton ones. No
Yes.
disrespect to the Tim Burton ones.
Oh yeah, without question.
I love the Tim Burton movies, but like I said, I actually think Batman the Animated Series and this movie were better adaptations than Tim Burton's ones.
Yeah, they really delved into the psyche of both Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yes. Now, obviously I don't want to give away who the Phantasm is, but when you find out why the Phantasm does what it does, you actually do kind of sympathize with it, because you understand why it's doing what it's doing.
It's a very well-written story.
Yeah. And
pretty clever, too.
And there's a line in this movie that Alfred says to Bruce that really shows how much, like, if Batman went too far, he could become just like the villains he fights.
Right.
So it's a movie that's really about Batman, which is something I really loved about the movie. Now, of course, the Joker shows up in the movie, and let's talk about Mark Hamill's Joker.
Come back. The next Arkham game, come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Mark Hamill is for me the definitive Joker. I mean,
I would say he's the definitive animated Joker in terms of live action.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of live action, it's hard to pick between Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger, because I can't really compare Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Jokers because they're two different characters.
Yeah, basically all three Jokers are three completely different characters. So if you ask me, I can't really compare them. But really, whenever I think of the Joker, the voice that comes to my head is Mark Hamill, which most people say.
Now, I would say the Joker in this movie and in the animated series was almost like a perfect balance between the more lighthearted Joker, but also the really psychotic
and crazy Joker.
Because there are parts in the show and in the movie where he's genuinely funny, but at the same time, this character will seriously kill you if you ran into him in a dark alley.
Yeah, he'll mess you up big time.
But it's for a kids' movie, it's a very well-made movie, very well written. The animation is absolutely beautiful in this movie.
Stunning.
What's interesting is this is actually my first review on an animated movie.
Ah, congratulations.
Yeah. But, and they definitely, it's the same animation style from the show, but they give it more of a cinematic feel to it.
Yes.
Because this was actually released in the theaters, but I don't know if it did too well.
I would say it made, I looked it up earlier, it made about $5 million, $6 million, which...
Technically, that's nothing, though.
Yeah, in box office sense, yeah, it's nothing, but I would say in an animated movie sense, I think it's pretty good. Especially at this time, because animation and CGI and the whole thing isn't as expensive to be made than live action. So I would say $5 million for an animated movie, it's not bad, especially on a budget where you're basically hand-drawing every single frame. That's the most incredible thing. Oh, hand-drawn animation. I miss it. Come back.
But yeah, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, it's definitely one of my favorite animated movies, and probably one of my favorite superhero movies in general. Any final thoughts on this movie?
Watch this movie. If you get the chance, watch this movie. This is one of the best anime movies, especially for Batman. It's one of the best story-driven, character-driven. It's one of the best movies in animated history, I would say, if you ask me. I really love this movie a lot. Yeah, that's I pretty much said everything.
Yeah. I think we should end this video off and continue with this one.